Welcome back inside of Bob Wren Stadium, and it is a pleasure and a privilege to be on the broadcast call today. My name is Ethan Sargent. Alongside me is Tim Hanna. And Tim, we just witnessed a heck of a first baseball game. We really saw just a lot of great baseball, and what we saw right off the bat, have to talk about it. Kyle Ratliff, again, he does what he does.
He can't be stopped, Ethan. He's like Nick Castellanos a little bit. You kind of forget about it, and then all of a sudden there's a deep drive to left field, and Copperheads win the game 4-2.
That is pretty much exactly how it is. But we're going to do it all again now as Xenia is back in town. They are back up to bat. Pitching for the Copperheads is Daniel Walter, number 39. He's had a good season so far. Had an 8 strikeout game against the Mariners a couple weeks back. He's got a 4.32 ERA. And he'll look to pick up his second win of the season here, as the Copperheads look to pick up their 4th win of the row. It's their first 3-game win streak of the season. And the Copperheads will try, as they're going to try and do this late game push, or this late season push, to try and sneak in the back door of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League playoffs, as we're just about set to play baseball here. Batting first for the Scouts is Tyler Haskins.
Copperheads now with that win moved to just 3.5 games back out of first place. The Xenia Scouts fall out of the playoff spot. They'll move down to 3rd place in the division. The Hamilton Joes and Licking County Settlers will sit up at the top. But 3.5 games, Ethan, separating the top of this division from the bottom.
It's tight as Walter pitches a ball to get this one underway. It is razor thin. You'd be counting the Copperheads out just a few days ago, but now 3 quick wins right on the spin, and now they're right back in the race. A couple wins, a couple teams drop here and there, and they could be right there as Walter pitches inside for ball 2.
Winning here today, completing the win in this second game of the series, is going to be critical. The Copperheads have already clinched the season series against the Xenia Scouts. They've won 3 of the 4 matchups, and a win here would be 4 out of 5 and really be huge when it comes down to these tiebreakers at the end of the season, because as we can see already, the tiebreakers between each teams are going to be critical.
Absolutely, Tim. And the Copperheads, it's been a season that just they've struggled to keep that confidence going. And this could be the catalyst to maybe just get that win streak going and, find a way. And heck, when we talk about playoffs, the hottest teams that come into the playoffs tend to win playoff games. So you can never count out these Cheads, especially if they head into the postseason hot. Who knows? As Walter behind in the count now, 3-1, pitching to Tyler Haskins. Pitch is swung on and grounded to first. And the play is made over there by Mitch Class for the first out of the ball game. And we are rolling here in Bob Wren Stadium. It's an overcast night, about 75 degrees. Great crowd out here tonight. Really good showing from the Athens community. Marching 110 even in the building. You might hear their faint overtures throughout the course of this one. Now for the Scouts, batting now is Tommy Rover. He's got a hot streak going. Batting .368 over the last week. And he's got a .329 average overall, and he's got 12 RBIs on the season.
Yeah, what a crowd here tonight. When we at first pitch of the first game today, there was exactly 15 people in here, and I'd say probably 14 of us were staff. And now I can't see an open seat in the lower Bolsa.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing to see, when you talk about the community impact that the Copperheads have. It is awesome to see this many fans in the seats. It's awesome to see all the kids running around, and we'll see the promos and all the fun stuff that happens during Copperheads games. It's just great to watch. As Walter falls behind in the count again, 2-0 to Rover. As there's a strike, 2-1. Rover went 1 for 2 in the game earlier today. He had a single and a walk. Walter deals that one, bounces up off of Josh Steidel. Steidel was playing first base in the game earlier today. He now goes behind the plate where he is an all-star starter. And that all-star game coming up later this week. Should be an exciting game for the for guys like Josh Steidel and Kyle Ratliff, who we will talk about much more as this game goes on, because this guy has been the hero for the Copperheads all season long.
He has. He's done it quite a few times, and seems like every time this offense needs him to come up big, he's one of the most clutch hitters that this entire team has.
And that one is fouled off. Count is full, 3-2. What does Walter got here? On the full count, and it's low. Ball 4, first walk issued by Daniel Walter. And that will bring up Jared Eaton.
One thing for the Copperheads in this second game now, they give themselves a little bit more room to work with, as they only had to go with one pitcher in that first game. So even if they do have to use 2, 3, 4, even 4 guys in this game, as long as they can stay on their schedule for the entire day, I think that's really going to be beneficial. And if Walter is able to settle in here and go deep into this game like Cody Williams did, then it's going to save them on the back end of the week when pitchers start to become a premium.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can't go through that without talking about how good of a performance Cody Williams just put up. That's back-to-back phenomenal pitching performances by Copperhead pitchers. Colin Ryan yesterday in that shortened game, 11 strikeouts, phenomenal bit of work from him. And then today, another stellar job by Cody Williams, limiting a normally pretty powerful Xenia offense, 2 runs, as the steal is successful by Rover. Steidel just didn't really get the transition right, it seemed, out of the glove. So that's a stolen base for Rover. But yeah, you have a great outing from Ryan on last night. And then today you get another great outing, so 2 pitchers in 2 days. And now, you know, when you have 3 games in 2 days like this, pitchers are a premium, as you said. And I'm sure Coach TJ Lanning will be more than pleased about that, as that one's fouled back. Count remains 0-2 on Jared Eaton out of University of Southern Florida. He's batting .400 over his last 7 days, and he is 4th in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League in batting average. So impressive numbers from him. And this one is grounded short to first. It's juggled, and the tag is applied. But the runner does advance, so with 2 outs, Tommy Rover is over there on third base, and that will bring up Blaze Bell. Great baseball name, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially over there at first base, the big towering guy. Pretty tall guy, too, as well. I believe he's 6'3", 6'1".
Definitely one of the larger statures on this Scouts team, as Walter will try to get out of this, as that one is swung on hard and missed. Good pitch there outside, getting Bell to chase. 0-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. That one's low. 1-1. If you're just joining us, well, you missed a heck of a game earlier. The Copperheads got a walk-off win from Kyle Ratliff, off the bat of Kyle Ratliff, I should say. And a 4-2 victory in 7, and this is game 2, as that one is fouled back. 1-2 the count. Game 2 of this doubleheader against the Xenia Scouts, and the Copperheads are starting to climb their way back up into the race for the playoffs here in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, as they have finally, for the first time this season, put together a win streak. And it's feels like a weight comes off your shoulders when you say that.
It does. This team's able to play a lot more loose. Things are starting to come together for this team, who has seen, you know, maybe one day the pitching staff will be on, but the bats can't get going, or maybe the team will put up 8 runs, but the pitching staff gives up 15. So this is finally, these last couple of games, we even go back to the Cincinnati Steam game on July 4th when the win streak started, and everything kind of came together for this team. The pitching staff was on. Borer and Beery came in and absolutely took care of business, and the bats started to come alive. We're seeing guys get on streaks now a little bit.
As there's a walk issued by Walter. So runners on the corners here for Xenia with 2 outs here and in the top of the first. And that will bring up Jeffrey Hurd from Cal State Sacramento, all the way out in California. He's got a 267 average on the season, the left-handed batter. And he's got an opportunity to give the Scouts an early lead here in this one, as Walters worked himself into an early jam. Can he work his way out of it here? Oh, good pitch inside there. Gets the swing out of Hurd. 0-1.
Really awesome to see a lot of Copperheads alumni here tonight. 20th anniversary of the team this season, and a lot of the really important figures that helped create this organization and make it what it is today here in the building. Seeing a lot of former interns from the 2018 season as well, got their championship a couple of years ago.
There's a good pitch right down the middle. 1-2 as Daniel Walter looks to work his way out of a little bit of a jam here in the first. You got runners on the corners with 2 outs. 1-2 the count. And that one is fouled back up and right into the ball mold section. Well, it's really great to see all the community events that the Copperheads have been doing recently. Last night we had a lot of the members of the high school journalism workshop come in. Some of them were here in the booth with you guys. A bunch of them were up with where I typically am in the PA booth. It was really cool to see, you know, these kids get an opportunity, and maybe it'll be them one day in these headsets.
Hopefully. I think Copperheads fans here by the end of the season will be tired of listening to Sedric and I talk, so we'll have to find our replacement.
And we'll have to find a commercial break as the Scouts strike out. Hurd strikes out swinging. Walter gets out of the jam. We'll be right back with the Copperhead batters. Welcome back inside Bob Wren Stadium in the bottom of the first, presented by Larry's Doghouse. I know you are a big proponent of the Copperhead Crunch Dog. I'm also a huge fan of that, have to say. But they just came out here at Bob Wren Stadium with a really, really good quality Philly cheesesteak. Like, way better than I expected. So, also pretty cheap price for a Philly cheesesteak as well. As Carson Shepard's up to bat now for the Copperheads as they get things going offensively here. He was 0 for 3 with a walk in game 1, as that one is ripped right at the shortstop, and he'll sling it over And that's a ground out for Shepard.
Defensively, Xenia Scouts making a couple of switches. Only one new player in the game for the Xenia Scouts. It'll be Sam Newkirk behind the dish. Other than that, just a couple of defensive switches. Tyler Haskins, Cole Lee, and Jeffrey Hurd still remain in the outfield. Infield, exactly the same. Blaze Bell and Peyton Neiman on the corners. Kyle Wu and Tommy Rover in the middle.
And Gunnar Aldridge up to plate. He had a pretty interesting game in game one. Was hit by 2 pitches by the same pitcher. Neither were intentional. 2 hit by pitches, had a single in the 5th, and then a walk, and that led to the walk-off from Kyle Ratliff. And he steps in the box here against Evan Etchison, who is having a very good season, 1.80 ERA out of Grace College in Anderson, Indiana. Or from Anderson, Indiana, might I add. And he's so far been solid. Got the first ground out, and now he's got to face Gunnar Aldridge. But you know, the next 2 hitters are scary, and that's a single for Gunnar Aldridge. Up and over the shortstop, Tommy Rover. And the Cheads have their first base runner. And now, here comes the hero. Kyle Ratliff in the building. You can hear the cheers from the Copperhead crowd who just witnessed that walk-off. And, Tim, that was a bomb.
Yes, it is.
No
it was,
doubter.
Ethan. Fun fact about Kyle Ratliff, he's only 1 home run away from tying the franchise single-season record for most home runs in a season, set in 2018 by Blaine Krim. And we were talking about Blaine Krim last night on the broadcast with former Cheads broadcaster Lucas Moore, who was around for the Blaine Krim era, and just remembered how powerful he was at the bat, what it sounded like. And the way he described it sounds very similar to the way we talk about Kyle Ratliff. One swing away from opening up an entire game.
I mean, exactly. He was 0 for 3. He was a strikeout and 2 flyouts. You know, it's not like he had been setting the game alight or anything, but then, you know, he works a really good at-bat as well. It was a nice, well-balanced at-bat, and then he saw his pitch, and he attacked it. And as soon as you heard that crack, as soon as you saw that ball travel in the air, well, if it were a single game, we'd all be going home. But it was a doubleheader, and since that game, the seats have only filled up more. As he chased that one a little bit.
Maybe a little too jittery from that walk-off, but it's early. Again, you just said it. You saw him go 0 for 3 and then ultimately scored the only 2 runs of the game that mattered.
Exactly. And now here's Kyle Ratliff, of course, is an all-star alternate. He's on the scout team. This guy, Josh Steidel, will be starting as your all-star catcher. He's got some power as well. He's hit his fair share of home runs this year. He's got 5 homers on the year. 4 homers. Maybe he's about to be 5. Maybe I'll give him a good commentator's curse. Who knows?
You and Sedric both tend to have really good luck with that, Ethan. I simply do not.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen. Steidel quickly behind 0-2 in the count. 2 outs here for the Copperheads after the Ratliff strikeout. They've got Gunnar Aldridge over there at first base. As he dives back, gets back on the bag from the pickoff attempt. Blake Bell over there, or Blaze Bell, first base. Blake Bell, tight end for the Chiefs. Getting my names mixed up.
Football season just 68 days away, Ethan.
He's got it down to a science. I mean, I wish I knew the days. I mean, this is the last month without football for a lot of months, and that makes me very excited. But hey, while it's the summer, who doesn't love a little bit of summer baseball, whether it's Major League or the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League? And we've seen some great baseball here over the past few days, over the past month or so, and we saw a great game already once, and we're going for 2 as Steidel bloops it right into the glove of second baseman Kyle Wu, and that will do it for the first inning. We'll be right back with the second. Welcome back inside Bob Brent Stadium, and we're in the top of the second inning, presented by Jackie O's. Great wings, really, really solid wings. I love it, Jackie O's. I know you have a different favorite thing at Jackie O's.
I do. If you get a chance to come out to the ballpark or find yourself at one of the many Jackie O's locations around Athens, be sure to try out the Homer's Hazy IPA, special beverage created specifically for the Southern Ohio Copperheads. Super cool can designed by former Copperheads designer, I believe it was Taylor Rhodes.
Wow.
The one
it's a very nice design. It looks really very unique.
So all aspects of this organization, student run, all the way from the marketing to the graphic design.
Very cool. As there's a quick out for Daniel Walter. He gets a grounder right back to him off of the bat of Cole Lee. And a pretty simple play for him, and that will bring up Kyle Wu, who made the last play in the bottom of the first to get out Josh Steidel. That pitch is low and away. Ball one. That one gets away from Steidel. You could just feel the atmosphere just crackling throughout the stadium right now. It's, you know, you've got everybody's hyped up after that walk-off in the first game. You've got a great crowd tonight. It's the alumni's in the building. You've got tons of awesome fans. It's a Friday night in Athens, and it is baseball season.
Didn't get a chance.
Like baseball.
Didn't get a chance to check the PA script before the game, Ethan. But are we going to have ourselves a hot dog hitter in this game?
I do believe we will. I assume we will. Because normally it is the 5th, and normal fans on the broadcast will know that is probably the loudest cheer of the night, regardless of baseball activity, if the hot dog hitter hits.
We've seen a couple of guys establish themselves as public enemy number one. I'm talking to you, Bennett Clement. Cincinnati or the Hamilton Joes tried to bunt.
Yep.
As the hot dog hitter.
That's what we call Bush League.
Have a little class, man. We've seen a couple guys maybe not so intentionally strike out just to get this crowd pumped up.
As there's a soft grounder over to Gunnar Aldridge at second base, and he tosses it over to Mitch Class for the second out of the inning.
2 quick outs here for the Copperheads, and this is big as Walter's pitch count kind of crept up a little bit on him in that last inning, already up to 32 pitches, and we're only an inning and 2/3 into this game. So if he'd like to stay in, he's going to have to start getting those quick outs to ensure that he stays in this game for as long as he possibly can.
And now Sam Newkirk up to the plate for the Scouts, one of the only players that didn't play in that first game. He's subbed in here in this one for Evan Fragella, at least in the lineup, not positionally. And he swings hard at that one and misses 1-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. 0s on the scoreboard right now, as this one is popped up. Trey Rucker coming in to make the play, and he does, and that will do it. A pretty straightforward inning there for the Copperheads. 3 very quick outs, back to back to back. And we will be right back with some Copperhead hitting. Welcome back inside Bob Wrenn Stadium, and welcome to the bottom of the second inning, presented by Steak and Shake. Another one of my favorite fast food spots here in Athens. As Trey Rucker's up to bat, that one is very inside, almost hit him. And I gotta say, from Steak and Shake, I always go for the garlic steak burgers. I think they did say that did hit him.
Works for me, I guess.
It works for the Copperheads, as they now have a very quick base runner over there at first base. And now a guy we know who's got plenty of power and plenty of bam. Ashton Bam Thomas come up to the plate now. And I believe that manager Tim Cole is out here to have a word with the umpire. I don't think he likes that call.
That call could go either way, I think. On the inside, he did do his best to avoid that. As you saw Coach Cole point out, he did step away from it. But I think he was saying that, well, it didn't hit him. It kind of brushed his jersey. And depending on how you interpret that rule, I guess it could go either way.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, as there's an immediate response from Etchison, and it is 0-1 here in the count as he checks Rucker over there at first base. We know Rucker's got the speed. He can steal.
Quite a few stolen bases.
We were watching or at least I was watching Newkirk in the warm-up, and that guy behind the plate, he can gun it over there, so you're going to have to get it right.
Rucker 11 stolen bases on the year.
This one's popped up on a bounce over to the pitcher. Thomas out over at first, but Rucker will advance to second. So you advance the runner, but you sacrifice it out, and that'll bring up Clayton Hodges. Had a hit in game one, single, back in the second inning. He's hit pretty well over the past week. He's got a .444 average, which is pretty hot. At least I'd say. As now Rucker goes over to third. It's gunned over there. I thought there might have been contact off of the bat from Hodges, but seems like it was just a lost ball from Newkirk, the catcher. And you will take that if you're the Copperheads.
Bit of a check swing on that one.
Yeah, that's why I thought that the ball bounced off of the bat. It did not. And the Copperheads will take the free base. As there's a swing and a miss from Hodges. 1-1 now the count, as Rucker now stands over there on third base. And the most danger of this early game so far is that one is outside, and that will bring home the first run of the game. Trey Rucker has a little stroll around the bases, and the Copperheads take an early lead, 1-0. Cheads after two.
One thing that's been consistent, Ethan, in this winning streak that the Copperheads have put together is they've scored in the first inning of all of these games, or these last three games, rather. The Cincinnati Steam game, I don't believe we had ourselves a bit of a pitcher's duel until about the sixth inning. Fifth or sixth inning, and that one is, I believe, when the first run came across. But in the previous game we watched earlier today, in the game yesterday against the Richmond Jazz, Copperhead struck first and led that game coast to coast. So that seems to be the formula for this team.
Yeah, I mean, think about the confidence that gives a pitcher, right? As a pitcher, you could pitch a gem, and your offense could give you nothing, and you could pitch a no-hitter like the Cincinnati Reds did about a month and a half ago, and still lose the game. So, that's the sort of thing as a pitcher. It fills you with confidence, seeing that you get run support, seeing that you've got your team at your back, and it'll give you a little bit of a boost on the mound, as Hodges has worked the count full here, and that one is right in there. Hodges, I don't think he liked the call too much, but he'll walk on back and take that strike three call. So 2 outs now with the bases empty for Maverick Stallings, another quality baseball name, it must be said.
Yes, it is. Maverick with the Top Gun movie just came out a couple weeks ago, and when that movie came out, that's right when Maverick started getting into the swing of things for his season. A bit of a late addition to the team, but still been contributing in big ways since he's shown up.
Yeah, he's kind of locked down that shortstop spot as that one is bumped over to first, and the play is made by Bell, and that'll do it. But the Copperheads strike first here in the bottom of the second inning. Trey Rucker gets a single and comes all the way around and scores the first run of the game. Copperheads lead 1-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bob Wren Stadium, and welcome back to the third inning, the top of the third inning, presented by OUCU Financial, where you belong. As the Scouts will try to respond here in the third with Peyton Neiman, who also pitches a little bit, has a 5.68 ERA. He's got a 195 average and 5 RBIs on the season from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. As the count 1-1 here for Walter, who, as you mentioned in the last inning for the Scouts, he worked up that count in the first and then got a really quick inning in the second. I don't think he had more than maybe 10, 15 pitches in that inning.
No, kind of settled back in. Now he's only at 38 pitches. So only had, I believe it was less than 10 pitches in that second inning.
Yeah, it was good from him. He looked a lot more comfortable in that inning, by my judgment.
And that's something that Walter even talked about is it kind of took him a little bit to get relaxed in that first one. He had that really good start in his debut with the Copperheads, but took him a minute to get started.
Yeah, and there he gets his second strikeout of the game on Neiman, and that will bring up Haskins to the plate. Yeah, Walter has been one of the better pitchers for the Copperheads so far this season. Had that, again, as that you mentioned, that really good outing early in the year. Has had his ups and downs, but he's really solidified himself as one of the top guys in their starting rotation.
Yeah, and he'll get a chance to pitch in the GLSCL All-Star game as well with Luke Borer. Both of those guys were named reserves, so they'll both get an inning of work down there in Mason on, I believe that game is on Thursday? It's the 12th. Tuesday, rather. So that should be fun. If you guys do get a chance to go out to the GLSCL All-Star game, Sedric and I will both be on the staff for that game, representing the Copperheads, and should be a great time. We're really excited to go out there and watch some baseball, support our guys, and, of course, now be able to refer to ourselves also as All-Stars. Skylar Watts, our wonderful social media director, also joining us. She'll be doing live tweeting at that game.
That's great. As there's strike two, 2-2 the count. I hear there may also be an amusement park trip in your future.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Ethan, I'm not a big fan of amusement parks, not as much as my co-host is.
I was going to say, you're talking to the king of amusement parks right here. Sedric Granger is the one of the biggest roller coaster nuts I've ever met.
So we'll see. Not sure if we're going to make that trip during our trip up to Sandusky with the when we go to play the ice haulers, or possibly just maybe taking a day trip on one of the off days down to Kings Island. Rung him up.
And Haskins did not like it. He had the bat pitched. He was ready to take his base, and the umpire pitched it. It did look a little bit outside by my judgment from here back in the press box, but we're not the umpires. So the Copperheads will be very happy with that decision, as that'll mean 2 outs now as Rover comes up to the plate. He walked in the first inning. As that one is fouled back high and away. And the lights are starting to come on here. Hopefully they all stay on tonight after what happened last night.
Yeah, they should be. I talked to Chris, our facilities, Chris and Aiden, our facility guys, and he said everything was taken care of. The
awesome.
Wonderful people at OU Athletics came to help us out today, and had to work in the rain a little bit, but got everything good enough to play. And
yeah, we were worried. We were worried that we'd get no games in today.
Yeah, this morning you and I were texting along with Sedric, and
we were worried.
We just gotta get one game in. Sedric said we needed 10 innings, and we're now in inning number 10. So
yeah, we've done the weather has held up, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore because that'll curse it. As that one is grounded over to Gunnar Aldridge at second, and that is another solid inning for Daniel Walter. The Copperheads once again take out the scouts in order. 1, 2, 3. And we'll be back as the Copperheads will try to tack on their lead in the bottom of the third inning. Welcome back to Bob Wrenn Stadium, and the bottom of the third inning is presented by the Eclipse Company store. And I hate to just say wings again because I feel like I'm just regurgitating. But Eclipse Company, the Eclipse has phenomenal wings. I've been there a few times. They've got some really nice dry rub wings over there, right over by Athens High School in the Plains.
I believe they have the mac and cheese egg rolls too in there that are just phenomenal.
Yeah, that making me hungry up here in the box. As Mitch Class up to bat, and he's quickly behind 0-2 here in the count. Class was the only Copperhead that's in the lineup now that did not play in the first game, and that's a 3-pitch strikeout for him. He couldn't quite check his swing as the outside looks like a slider out of the zone there.
Yeah, started up Started up and away and finished right at his kneecaps, and a really nice pitch there.
Yep.
From Etchison.
It's Carson Shepard back up to the plate. He grounded out to short in his first plate appearance. Do love his favorite player being Derek Jeter. Big up that.
You guys could probably have some good conversations about Yankee baseball.
Yankee baseball. It's great right now. Things are going very well on 161st Street, as the Yankees are a very good baseball team. Got to 60 wins.
If you Copperheads fans at home haven't picked up on it yet, our man Ethan Sargent is
I gotta rep New York somewhere,
fan
right?
of the Yankees.
I gotta rep New York
true.
somewhere. I don't like any other New York sports teams. I'm from Long Island. You know, you guys saw Colin Ryan. I'm gonna do a little bit of a print story on him about how we come from the same place. As Carson Shepard rips one dead center, and it is caught in dead center by Lee. Back to what I was saying, that I'm from Long Island. Colin Ryan is from Long Island. We had a really good conversation before his stellar performance yesterday about, you know, how kind of being from Long Island helped him kind of become the baseball player that he is. And, you know, he was telling me that I was like, what do you think you need to improve on to get, you know, to hit that next level this year? And he's like, consistency. And heck, I think he earned that yesterday.
Yes, he did. Two really consistent performances. I mean, he's kind of established himself as that big number two. And it's on some nights, even that number one. And
yep,
we'll likely see that pitching performance that he had last night be heavily considered for pitcher of the week.
Oh yeah. I mean, he broke the I think he broke the single game Copperhead strikeout record, if I'm not wrong. If he didn't break it, it was very close.
I couldn't find the single game record anywhere in our archives, but I will going to continue to dig for that. He did tie the single game record.
As Aldridge grounds one up the middle, and that throw is a little away by the shortstop Rover, and that'll be an error on him most likely. And Gunnar Aldridge reaches base for the second time tonight. And we've seen the scouts make the mistake of giving Ratliff a chance to come up to the plate when maybe he shouldn't have had the chance to come up to the plate. It's happened here again. Kyle Ratliff with 2 outs here, 1 man on. Struck out in the first. What can he do here in the 3 spot? Battling once again.
One thing Coach Lanning has been talking about really since the losing streak started about 3 weeks ago is you have to be able to take advantage of the other team's mistakes. You have to be able to take advantage of the walks, the hit by pitches, the errors, things like that. And this is a prime example of that. They'll likely score that an error on the they have scored it an error on Tommy Rover, but have to be able to take advantage of that, and leaving Gunnar Aldrich on base in this situation would, in fact, not be taking advantage of that situation.
And I mean, but if there is a guy you want to come up to the plate in these sort of situations, those are the sort of swings that kind of make, if you're in the Xenia dugout, they kind of make you shudder, because you see the power that Kyle Ratliff possesses every swing. As Ratliff asks for time. 2-1 the count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cheads lead 1-0. Trey Rucker came around on a passed ball in the 2nd inning. Just 1 hit for the Copperheads. No hits so far for the Scouts through 3. As that one is lined straight at the 3rd baseman, Neiman, and that will do it for the 3rd. So through 3, it is a Copperhead lead, 1-0. We'll be right back with the Scouts trying to fight back. Welcome back to Athens, Ohio, beautiful Athens, Ohio, and Bob Wren Stadium as we're back with the top of the 4th inning presented by Ohio Health. As the Scouts are going to look to respond here. They took one on the chin in the 2nd inning, went down 1-0, and now they will try to respond. Jarrett Eaton up to the plate. Eaton, we talked about earlier, has got that really good batting average. Been a solid player for the Scouts so far. He grounded out in the 1st inning. And we'll see what he can cook up here against Walter, who after that first, he's calmed it down. The last 2 innings have been very straightforward for him. As that one's just a bit high. 2-2 the count. Just missed the strikeout there.
Walter working to get his 4th strikeout of the day. Really settled in after that 1st inning. Kind of didn't get away from him, but just didn't look as comfortable as maybe he might have wanted in that 1st inning.
Yeah, and then with a runner on 3rd base, you know, you start to get worried. Then he walks Blaze Bell, and you're, you know, runners on the corners. It was a little bit of a jam, but, you know, he struck out Jeffrey Hurd, and it's been business as usual since then. No base runners since the 1st inning for Daniel Walters, so he has found his groove as he goes for the pitch, and it's fouled back on the 3-2 count now. Copperheads infield is Steidle behind the plate. They've got Shepard over at 3rd, Stallings at short, Gunnar Aldridge at 2nd, and Mitch Klass at 1st. And then you've got Hodges in left, Ratliff at center, and Trey Rucker in right field, and that one is low. Now there's your base runner.
Tough break for Daniel Walter on that one. Had a couple that just missed that part of the zone. Probably could have gone either way on those calls. And unfortunately, that is his 4th walk of the day, I believe. Yeah, 4th walk of the day. So have to keep those numbers low. 3rd walk of the day. Have to keep those numbers low. And
big cut there from Blaze Bell. He walked in the 1st.
Thinking about which Copperheads pitchers we're going to see in this game. Already in the 4th inning, though. But potential to see Luke Borer, Adam Beery, a couple of those guys. Even Jared Oakes, haven't seen him since last Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Jake Jordan, Josh Robinson as well. So the bullpen, as Coach Lanning said yesterday, bullpen pretty much all healthy and available for today's games. But
that one is hit hard and foul. Just foul. It was hard to tell from over here in the box. It was very close, but foul. And that's a little bit of a break there for Walter as Eaton was moving. He might have maybe thought about swinging around 3rd there because Hodges was a ways away from that.
Yeah, I think he would have turned and went on that one. Had a good jump on it too as well.
Because he had already attempted to steal 2nd. He was at 2nd by the time the ball was hit. As he goes again here, strike, and almost had to strike him out, throw him out, double play. Bell goes down swinging, but the steal is successful by Eaton.
Just kind of skipped away from Aldrich. He wasn't able to scoop that one, but a phenomenal throw from Steidle. We saw that one appear on a close
frozen rope. For sure, right there from Josh Steidle. That's part of the reason why he's an all-star starter. You know, he's got that hitting ability, but I mean, you just don't see many pass balls from him, and those he is not a guy to be messed around with at the plate.
And a really good job adjusting to different pitchers is something I asked him about One of the first times I actually even talked to him, we were talking a little baseball, and I was like, well, have you had to make any adjustment, or like how difficult is it to catch a new pitcher every day and guys you aren't used to? And he said it is difficult, but like once you get used to them, and they do a lot of work in the bullpens before games. We saw him spend that entire half-hour break down there in the pen working with Walter. So not much of a break for Steidel at all during that.
I mean, he was working over at first in the first game, you know, had a pretty solid game over there, no real mistakes. And now he goes behind the plate here in game number 2 with his double cheddar. Double cheddar, I love that. As Walter has worked the count to 1-2 here against Jeffrey Hurd, who struck out in the first inning to end that little rally that the Scouts had going. That one is pulled. You saw Eaton there, just had a little thought about going for third. I mean, you better get that right. You better get that right. We've seen Steidel's arm, not a guy to be messed with, even stealing second, so you better be perfect if you're going for third.
Don't have the official numbers in front of me, but Steidel has to be high on that list of putouts, 2 on the year, as he usually seems about every other game that he's behind the dish, he'll get somebody that gets a little too greedy back there.
And I mean, we've seen pretty much all the catchers the Copperheads have gotten, you know, a little bit of action. We've seen, you know, Sebastian Silva was behind there last. We've seen Matt Friesen behind there a few times as well. We've seen Friesen and Steidel in the field as well. So, you know, plenty of opportunities, plenty of rotation throughout this Copperheads team, as that is just inside. Very close to strike 3 there. Has a good take from Hurd. 2-2 the count here in this 1-0 ball game. Cheads lead the Scouts, top of the 4th. Of course, this game is only going to 7 innings. This is part of a doubleheader. As that one is hit hard and foul. He did get all of that one, Jeffrey Hurd, as the customary Trevor Stevens bang plays over the PA system. I'm a big fan of that personally.
Does a great job.
He does do
with the
really
sound
good
effects
job.
in this,
Yes.
always engaging the crowd.
Absolutely, crowd engagement. You know, and on a night like tonight, especially, you'll hear the waves of laughter coming on up. And he goes for the third. And what did we say? Don't test Josh Steidel. Don't test him. They tested him, and Steidel made him pay. That's 3. As the strike him out, throw him out, double play hits there. Copperheads will now go to the bottom of the 4th, try and attack onto their lead. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Bob Wrenn Stadium, where the Copperheads currently lead 1-0. This inning's presented by Larry's Doghouse. Plenty of great hot dogs and great milkshakes if you're ever down there. They've got some phenomenal milkshakes. As Josh Steidel steps into the box, I think their best milkshake's got to be the one I think the special that they ran back in June. They had this caramel pretzel shake.
Ooh,
delicious,
interesting.
delicious. As Steidel rips one foul down the right field line, so 1-1 the count.
Big fan of the classic hot fudge sundae.
Oh, delicious.
That they've got out
It's
there.
so
The
reliable.
soft serve ice cream is hard to beat.
Absolutely, just all reliable right there. That's can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. As Josh Steidel hits this one softly to short, and the throw is missed. That's a second error over there for Rover, as Steidel's going to dig for second, and he'll get there. Heads up base running from Josh Steidel. Couple good plays in a row. First on the defensive play, on the catch or throw out, and then right back, Steidel heads up base running after the error over there at short by Rover. He takes his base at second, and now Trey Rucker steps into the box with a runner in scoring position.
Second defensive error in a row from Tommy Rover, and Copperheads have to take advantage of this now. It's the second time they've had an error. They were able to score off the first one, and then, of course, now need to do so again.
Yeah, now Rucker steps into the box, who, of course, is the Copperheads' only run of the game so far. Yeah, that's a simple play for Rover. That's just, the throw is just short as Rucker grounds this one to second. Steidel will advance over to third base, but Rucker will be put out. So I guess if he went for the bunt there on the first one, he kind of achieved his desired outcome there. Advance the runner to third, and that'll set up. Set up BAM time.
That's a good defensive play, or a good defensive hitting type play. Got that runner advanced, and now with only one out, Bam Thomas, a guy that is known for those loud outs, those big, deep drives to the outfield.
This would be a great time for one.
RBI opportunity now for Bam. Already has a few on the year.
He's got 4 on the year so far. Looking to get his 5th right here. If he could just get something up into the outfield, especially with the lefty hitter, if you can get something over there into right field, you're probably looking at an RBI here. Steidel, not the quickest guy on the team, but he can move. As that one is outside, trying to paint the corner there. 1-1 the count. And tried to go for pretty much the same sort of idea, trying to paint that outside corner. Once again, ump is not phased. 2-1 the count here for Bam Thomas. We'll see if he can work a quality at bat here. With 1 out, this is a big spot for him, try and pad the lead. Bam takes low, 3-1 now the count to him.
Steidel over there doing a little bit of a dance on third base, maybe trying to get in the head of Etchison and see what he can do, maybe force that error, possibly draw a walk for Bam Thomas as well.
And strike there to Bam. And this one is grounded to short. And this time Rover makes the play. So Bam can't take advantage of the RBI opportunity, but Copperhead still in with a shot as Hodges will step into the box with Steidel remaining on third.
See if Hodges can knock in his Jacksonville University teammate. Shout out again to Clayton Hodges' father. Sent us the radar gun. Chance to use that and make the viewing experience a little bit more exciting for the fans.
This is another tough play over there at short. And Rover steps up, so he makes amends, Tommy Rover, after the error that got the inning started. He makes 2 back-to-back plays on Bam Thomas and Clayton Hodges to help keep this a 1-run game. The runner stranded on third there by the Copperheads. But if the Scouts are going to get back into this game, they're going to need some offense, and we'll be right back with the top of the 5th inning, where they will try to get back into this one. Welcome back to Bob Wren Stadium on a beautiful night here in Athens, Ohio, as we're in the top of the 5th inning presented by Jackie O's Breweries. We have a pitching change for the Bobcats. Luke Borer is in. We'll talk a little bit more about Borer in a sec. But first, got to talk about a really, really good performance from Daniel Walter.
Daniel Walter, 4 innings, no hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, and just 3 walks. So not too bad of a performance. A little bit shorter than he's used to sometime, but had to bring in the big dogs now for the last 2, and hopefully the last 2 innings of this game. All-star reserve for the GLSCL South. That's Luke Borer, the Ohio University man.
Really good this year. He's had 3 saves so far on the year, and in all 3 of those saves, he has not given up a run in any of those games. He's got 13 strikeouts to just 5 walks on the season. The right-handed pitcher from, as you said, Ohio University strong right here in Athens, out of Perrysburg, Ohio.
Up on the home mound, too, in front of an
Athens crowd.
Athens crowd, for sure. Saw Bob Wren get packed like this a couple of times this year. Ohio University baseball doing a good job at getting people out to the ballpark and bringing baseball excitement, getting ready for, of course, our season.
Hodges' first pitch is fouled back by Lee. But, yeah, you can definitely feel that the community has definitely re-embraced the Copperheads after, you know, the couple seasons where they didn't play because of COVID and other circumstances. You know, we saw it on opening night. We've seen it on nights like this where the community comes out, really enjoys himself, has a great time. And, you know, it's just an awesome community event that, you know, Ohio University students help put on. And this team help puts out a great product.
It does. One of the, actually I would say one of the best in the league at doing the game day entertainment type thing. You don't see the different things that go on in between each inning. At some of these other ballparks. Of course, they always have the classic 50-50 and the hot dog hitter and the beer batter and things like that. But as far as on-field entertainment, engaging with the fans, the trivia, the games, the stuff like that, just you don't see that at a lot of these other ballparks. And I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to be here in Athens and work with our great staff here.
Yeah, we do have a phenomenal staff, I must say. You know, Charlie Clegg and Chris Marks, our co-GMs, they do a heck of a job, always working their butts off to make sure everything goes to plan. And can't forget about the adults as well. Annie Valent, you know, what more can you say about her? She does it all. As that is just low, 3-2 the count. But no, everybody on this staff from the top to the bottom has done a heck of a job so far this season. You know, we've dealt with rain delays, we've dealt with light delays, we've dealt with pretty much everything you could deal with as a baseball team. As that one is popped high and just out of the reach of Carson Shepard, who went over to the dugout to try and make the play.
Made a little bit of space for him down there.
Yeah, teammates ducking out of the way over there in the Copperheads dugout. That was another thing that TJ Lanning was talking about earlier in the season, is that he wanted his players to get more involved in the game. Like, get up on the dugout, you know, cheer on your guys. He was definitely a guy who wants, you know, his players to be involved, as, once again, this has been a battle here between Borer and Lee. Lee fouls back. Count remains full.
Pitch number 6 of the at-bat.
Yeah, and that, going back to that, you know, community, it all ties back. These guys, you really tell that this team has bonded a lot over the course of the year, and you can tell that you know, they're starting to feel like a family, as that is right down Main Street from Luke Borer. That was money right down the middle. And as you can probably hear in this stadium, the excitement is palpable as the hot dog hitter trots up to the plate. It'll be Kyle Wu for the Scouts. And after the strikeout there, you'd have to think the Copperhead fans will be excited that they might be able to get another one here. Luke Borer on the mound. What can he cook up here to Kyle Wu? That's just low. 1-0 the count.
86, Luke Borer bringing the heat, trying to blow one past him.
There's a foul, 1-1.
Went back, fastball again, 85 miles an hour for strike number 1.
And that one is low once again. 2-1 the count with one out here in the top of the 5th. Luke Borer in relief of Daniel Walter. As that one was very close. I think that one might be low on precedent, honestly.
Fans are going to let the home plate umpire hear about that one as they want their dollar dogs.
As there's a strike. Chased it a little bit there, Kyle Wu. If he takes that, I think he probably has his first base on a walk.
Josh Steidel, or rather Kyle Ratliff, hit a walk-off home run in this one, but Kyle Wu could be the hero tonight.
And he fouls it off. The hot dog hitter did hit, I believe, in the last game, if I remember correctly, earlier today. But it was a little early for hot dogs, you know? That was like, you know, 6 o'clock.
Wasn't quite dinner time yet.
It also wasn't quite as packed as it is now, so we'll see what happens here. 3-2, the count. The pitch is high. And Steidel asked for the check. And you can hear the response of the Copperhead fans as they are displeased at the lack of dollar dogs.
Not happy.
I must say, I empathize with them.
Not happy with the home plate umpire on that one. Borer did a really good job bringing the heat, trying to just blow one by him, and didn't quite catch enough of the strike zone on those last couple of pitches.
I think he got unlucky on that second one. That one was close. There's a strike in there to Newkirk.
I think this Copperheads fan base will take
dejected.
a strikeout either way.
Yeah, but a little dejected after the no hot dog hitter. But now a base runner on for the Scouts, as there's a strike. So 0-2, Borer quickly ahead in the count. And he fouls that one back over the top of the building behind Bob Wren Stadium. And fouled back once again. Borer's having to work. A lot of these at-bats, he's having to work.
He has 14 pitches already in this at-bat, or in this.
But there's the strikeout. Newkirk goes down swinging. So 2 outs. And Neiman comes up to the plate here for the Scouts. with a base runner on first. The Scouts have not had a base runner go past first base since the 4th. But of course, that base runner was punched out over at third by Steidel on that strike him out, throw him out double play. They've only had 2 base runners even get to second base.
Still looking for that first hit of the game as well.
Yeah, that is also true. They've only got on base through walks. There's been a few of them, but they have only gotten on base through walks here. As Borer now ahead in the count. Or apologies, not ahead in the count. Still 1-1. With 2 outs. There's a strike. 1-2. Now he's ahead. Can he finish it off and strike out the side here in the top of the 5th inning? The pitch is just fouled on. Staying alive there is Neiman. 1-2 the count.
Strike zone seeming to kind of shift a little bit.
Yeah, that was interesting. Let me tell you.
We've seen some get called low and some not. And again, I'm not an umpire by any stretch of the imagination, but at least try to keep it consistent.
As there's a play from Gunnar Aldridge. He comes across there. That one looked like it might squeak through for a base hit. Not on Gunnar Aldridge's watch. He tosses it over to first. Just about gets there ahead of the diving Neiman. And it is time for the bottom of the 5th. Can the Copperheads extend the lead in this pitcher's duel so far, this defensive battle? We'll be right back with Copperhead offense. Welcome back to Bob Wren Stadium, where the Copperheads currently hold a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and they're going to try to add to that there, as I think Maverick Stallings might have fouled that one off his foot. That will hurt him in the morning, let me tell you. He will feel that one tomorrow.
These guys hit with so much power coming off the bat, and yeah, fouling one off your leg is not fun.
Nope. One of the less enjoyable feelings in sports.
I've not done that since my days in Troy Junior Baseball back about 10 years ago.
As now the trainer will come out, take a quick look at Maverick Stallings' leg. I'm not really sure what the trainer could do here. Besides, you know, maybe give him a little bit of ice or just say, can you keep going?
Hope he's doing okay. Ethan, we got a little bit of baseball trivia. We'll see if you can get the answer to this one.
Lay it on me.
So this is the trivia question of the day presented by Major League Baseball. Mookie Betts recorded his 19th career multi-home run game out of the leadoff spot. Which player, or ties which player for the most all-time?
19 multi-home run hits?
19 multi-home run hits out of a leadoff spot.
Ooh. As Stalling takes 0-2. That one looked inside. Man, I see that my baseball knowledge is like, it's good, but it's not like that good.
I'll give you a couple of hints.
Go for it.
Pull up the
As
baseball
Stallings
reference.
hits one deep to left field, but it is caught out there by the left fielder, Haskins.
7-time All-Star, played left field and second base from 99 to 2014. Spent 7 years in the Bronx with your New York Yankees.
Oh, okay. I think I could be very wrong here. This could make me look stupid, but is it Robinson Cano?
It is not Robinson
Okay.
Cano. Not in New York the same time as Robinson Cano. Was in New York from 99 to 03.
Oh, so he was there for the
in
prime.
13 and 14. Yeah, World Series champion with the New York Yankees, right?
Yeah, multiple-time World Series champion with the New York Yankees. I think Robinson Cano is a decent guess, though.
It was a good guess.
Yeah.
Originally from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, so even as Mitch Class comes up to the plate now with 1-2 the count. I don't know. This is a tough one.
So 7-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger.
As that strike three, that one looked well out of the zone from up here.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, at some point, that one just didn't look very good. And of course, again, we're not umpires. We won't make judgments, but that one just didn't look like a great call.
A couple other hints for you. Was in played for the Nationals for a year, Texas Rangers, and the Chicago Cubs as well. Total 16-year career in the major leagues. Tied with Mookie Betts for the most home runs
From the lead
out of the leadoff spot with 19.
As Shepard is 1-1.
It's a tough one. I wouldn't have guessed this one. Definitely a pretty famous player, and you'll probably
kick myself.
Probably the
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
When I do reveal it to you. But
So what positions did you say you
he
played?
played
again?
left field and second base.
Left field and second base.
New York Yankees, the Texas Rangers, Chicago Cubs, Nationals for a season. Originally from the Dominican Republic.
As Shepard fouls this one to short. The throw is a little high, but it gets there all the same. And that will do it. I'm going to have to tuck her out. I don't think I know that one.
Alfonso Soriano.
Yeah, I'll kick myself for that one. Very, very good player for the Yankees, but I don't think I would have gotten that one. I think I could have.
No, that was a tough
for
one
a couple hours. I don't think I would have got that one. But Copperheads go down very quickly in the bottom of the fifth, and the Scouts have 2 innings to try and get something on the board besides that goose egg. We'll be right back with the top of the 6th. Welcome back to Copperhead Baseball live on YouTube. presented by OUCU Financial here in the top of the 6th inning. Welcome back inside Bob Wren Stadium. I'm Ethan Sargent. Alongside me is Tim Hanna. And so far, it's been a pitcher's duel. It's been a defensive battle between these two teams. The first game was by no means a slugfest, but we did see some offense. This game, the offense has been very sporadic.
Yeah, not quite the explosive performance we saw from the offenses in the last game. So, sorry, your first one wasn't a
it wasn't a
slugfest.
Yeah.
We still got time. We got
who knows?
Two innings left, but you'll get a chance tomorrow too. Up in Grand Lake.
Yeah, it'll be me and Sedric on the call for that one.
Taking a much-needed day off. Gonna go see some friends, and we're playing our annual golf scramble.
Oh, enjoy
tomorrow.
Enjoy.
So.
That sounds like a heck of a time. As Borer is behind here quickly, 3-0.
Gonna need to just continue pounding that strike zone and limit those walks. Can't risk getting a bunch of guys on bases. It's only a one-run game here.
Absolutely. You know, couple swings of the bat, Copperheads could be behind. That they haven't really taken advantage of their opportunities. As Borer fights back for a strike, I mean, then again, neither team has hit well. The Copperheads only have 2 hits, and currently Xenia has none. They have no hits. They have had plenty of base runners. 4 walks so far in this game, so they've had guys on base. As that one's fouled back and out of the stadium. As the Borer has fought it back to a full count, 3-2.
Giving him a couple of pitches that he thought he could swing at, and now looking to maybe blow one by him. As Borer's got that 85-plus velocity on his fastball.
Yeah, we've seen some of that speed out of him today. That strike 3 he had in the last inning, I believe it was against Lee. That was a quick pitch. Had to be in the high 80s somewhere. As here's the 3-2 to Haskins. Strike 3 called. Haskins, I think for the second time tonight, thought he had himself a walk. As I think the second loudest cheer of the night is about to be had as the Jack Yo's beer batter comes to the plate, and that will be Tommy Rover, who's been one of the stories of this game. He had a few errors early on in this one, but he has tightened up defensively, made some good plays over there at short.
86 on the heat from Luke Borer, so
yeah, right down
not
the middle.
taking anything off. He told me after the game against Cincinnati on July 4th when he had to
and you heard the boos from the Copperhead fans as the bunt was laid down there by Tommy Rover, so the beer batter does not hit, but a really great defensive play there. Shepard charged it on in over there from third, chucked it over to Class, and I think Class actually applied the tag instead of stepping on the bag. I don't know if he would have got it if he stepped on the bag, but he applies the tag, and the Copperheads get the second out of the inning in impressive fashion there, Tim.
Shepard is for the people. A little bit of villain behavior from Tommy Rover.
Absolutely.
Trying to bunt as the beer batter. And of course, the great Copperheads fans do not appreciate that. So Carson Shepard had to defend his people, and
an Ohio University baseball player. He's been around here. He knows how great the people of Athens are. They've embraced him, and thus he has embraced them. In all seriousness, Carson Shepard is a great guy. You really see him a lot interacting with the kids, talking to a lot of the fans. I remember the first firework night we had back on opening night. I think he was standing around taking pictures for a solid 30 minutes with kids. You know, these guys look up to these players. You know, they're college kids. They're not used to this. You know, these kids being so in love with them, but, you know, these guys handle it like champs. And it's awesome to see, again, that we've talked about a couple times in this broadcast, that bond that the community has between the Copperheads and the Athens community, as there is strike 2, full count again. I think
gonna have to be a little patient with this
Eaton,
umpire.
Yeah, I think
if you're
Eaton thought he had a walk there. He was ready to pitch the bat as now Borer lines up for the full count, and that is hit hard. And I think, yep, that is Xenia's first hit of the game. He's rounding second. Rucker's going to chuck it in there. And the ball bounces away, so it's a double. And the first hit of the game for the Scouts and for Eaton. And just like that, as we've said, you know, now the Xenia really with their first opportunity in a few innings to potentially get something on the board. It's Blaze Bell now up to the plate. Good contact there. Best contact Xenia's had all day today, and that is their first hit of the night.
Luckily for the Copperheads, 2 outs, so that takes away any opportunities for a sac fly.
Yep.
But still a hard hit ball with Eaton's speed.
Hit hard, probably the hardest hit of the game so far. As now Borer will try to fight back after giving up the first hit of the game as Blaze Bell steps into the box. Bell is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. And he takes that one right down the middle for a strike. 1-1. Get the sense that this is a big spot. If the Copperheads can get through this, of course, in the 7-inning games especially, the pressure is just ratcheted up here for Luke Borer and the Copperheads. As that one is outside, 2-1.
I think you're absolutely right, Ian. This inning feels bigger than I think a 7th inning would, especially with a game so close like this. You've got to be able to get out of this inning and hold that lead, give your team just one more fighting chance to get a couple more runs.
As that one was inside on Bell, 3-1 the count. It'll be Hurd after Bell if Bell can get on base. Here's the 3-1. And it's a strike, but it's a pass ball. A little bit of a strange one there. It was kind of a weird noise. I don't know if you heard that down on the field, but I think it touched. I guess Steidl maybe wasn't 100% ready for it. And the count is full here. It is a strike, but the runner now advances to third base. So pretty much any ball in the air, pretty much any hit is going to score the runner here. And now full count, 2 outs. Biggest spot of the game so far right here. Blaze Bell taking on Luke Borer. Who's going to come out on top? 1-0 ball game. The pitch is swung on and fouled back. What do you go for here if you're Luke Borer? What pitch do you think he relies on here?
You got to try to get him something that he's going to want to swing at, but you've got to test him a little bit.
I agree.
You can't miss outside the zone on something obvious, but I think maybe some off
Bell
speed.
rips that one through, and we have a tie ball game here in Athens. There's a base hit straight through third and short, and Blaze Bell comes up big. Xenia ties this one up. We are all square at 1 here in the bottom of the top of the 6th inning. And Luke Borer now has to fight back as now you've got a runner on first, and you've got Hurd coming up to the plate.
Really solid hit ball through the infield, just put it right in the gap, and couldn't have done it any better to score that run.
It's textbook. Really good piece of hitting. You know, he works around the count, and he got a pitch that he liked, got a good contact, came around the ball, and that one's outside, and that's all Xenia needed. They had no hits coming into this inning, and now we have a tie ball game because the Copperheads on offense haven't been able to take advantage of a couple opportunities. And Xenia, really in their first real opportunity since probably the 3rd or 4th inning, were able to take advantage. As Hurd falls behind 0-2, or 1-2, sorry.
Another chance right here to get out of this inning and stop the bleeding.
As Hurd fouls that one back, so we stay at 1-2. Now, if you're TJ Lanning, you've got some interesting decisions to make here in the 6th and 7th innings when it comes to pitching, when it comes to potentially, you know, we saw a walk-off earlier today. How about 2 walk-offs in one day? It's possible, as this one is high and shallow center. Ratliff coming in and he makes the play. So the Copperheads get out of it in the end, but not before the crushing blow. Blaze Bell with the biggest base hit of the game so far to knot this up at 1. And we are in for a thrilling conclusion here at Bob Wren Stadium in the second of this 2-game doubleheader here in Athens. It's Copperheads 1, Scouts 1. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back inside Bob Wren Stadium, where we are in the bottom of the 6th inning, presented by Eclipse. As we mentioned earlier, great wings and a great time down over in the plains. Gunnar Aldridge up to the plate for the Copperheads, and now this game is on a knife edge. You know, the Copperheads were just ahead. Now they took the punch in the mouth from the Scouts, and now it all hangs in the balance. And really, ever since that run all the way back in the 2nd inning, feels like an age ago for the Copperheads. They really have not been able to get anything going against Edison.
It does. Even a bit of an offensive offensive difference than in that last game. Only scored 4 runs in that first game, but it just kind of felt like the offense was being active and kind of had a lot of things going here. It just seems like they're tired, and that's understandable. This is the 14th inning or 13th inning of baseball that's been played in the last 4 hours.
Yep.
So,
and that's on top of, you know, a game yesterday and the game and, you know, a couple games earlier in the week. So, you know, the schedule does start piling up for these guys, and they feel the effects.
Absolutely. And
as Aldridge checks his swing, but was in the zone anyway. So 3-2 here, the count for Gunnar Aldridge. The pitch is swung on and fouled back.
Aldridge still trying to find that timing on the fastball from Etchison.
Yeah, Etchison's done a real good job of just calming things down. He's really just commanded a lot of the strike zone, as that one is low. So Aldridge gets on base. He'll take a walk. And now that brings up to the plate Kyle Ratliff. We've seen this one before. We've seen this a couple times. We saw it earlier in this game. And, of course, we saw it just an hour and change or so ago when Kyle Ratliff proverbially sent us all home with that walk-off earlier. Can he come up big here in another big spot? Copperheads with no outs here and a base runner on. early in this inning.
I hate to be that guy, Ethan, but I think, honestly, in this situation, the Copperheads are going to be better suited if Kyle Ratliff just tries to put a ball in play. Doesn't have to play hero ball like he did in that last game. And while it would be great, and he does have the kind of one swing power to put a ball out of the park, I think this team would be better suited here with no outs.
Yep.
Get a couple of guys on.
Get Josh Steidl up to the plate.
Chip away at it, absolutely.
Well, Ratliff is behind here, 0-2 the count, and he swings and misses. So Ratliff, not a great at-bat there from him. Three strikes in a row, 3 swings. Or actually, no, the second one was not a swing. It was just on the inside corner for Etchinson. As now Josh Steidl will step up to the plate. Steidl, 0 for 1 tonight, reached on the error back in the 5th inning.
Steidl, another one of those guys with that one swing power to open up a game, but
yeah, we haven't seen Steidl hit a deep one in a while. We'll see if he can get one here, as that one is just fouled off over the fan concourse right near the Copperheads dugout. Of course, that lefty power could be something, as the second baseman kind of sits deep. He got out. That's how he was put out in the 1st inning. Was that that put out? The second baseman was right there waiting for it, you know, and on a normal alignment, probably squeaks through for a base hit. But the Xenia scouts did their homework on Josh Steidl, as he steps in here in a 1-1 count with Gunnar Aldridge over there at first base. We'll see. I feel like they probably won't send Gunnar Aldridge. They'll probably keep him at first base for now. Especially we've seen that the catcher Newkirk has got, he's got the arm to make the play over there at second.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ethan. Barring a pass ball or something of that nature, I think Aldridge will stay over there at first.
And
as
now
he keeps getting eyed down too. Newkirk keeping a close eye on him.
Yeah, now Newkirk is going to make his way out to the mound here. 3-1 count here for Josh Steidl. And again, if you're the scouts, you're trying to just limit the damage. You got the big out that you needed with, Ratliff, probably the team's best hitter. You were able to get him to strike out on 3 pitches, but now you've got to face probably the team's second best hitter right after him in Steidl. And of course, never an easy out in the GLSCL. So Steidl now steps back into the box, 3-1. Etchinson ready, and he deals. And Steidl, big cut and miss. Swung for the fences on that one, 3-2.
Yeah, he did. That ball probably would have been on the roof of the convo.
Yeah,
had he made contact with
it might
that
still
one.
be flying if he got contact with that one, but he didn't. So 3-2 count with 1 out here. Steidl takes ball 4. Really good take there from Josh Steidl. Great eye, just low. Not a bad pitch from Etchinson at all. And now Trey Rucker steps into the box as the Copperheads try to immediately respond. As Pretty Boy Swag blares out his walkout song. And the Copperheads, I think, have their first base runner on second since the 4th inning.
Have to take advantage of this right here. Have to put a ball in play or something to try and move those guys up another 90 feet into scoring position. And
yeah,
open this game up a little bit.
Do you go for the bunt here? Do you try the safety squeeze potentially to maybe advance the runners, but you take the risk with there being 2 outs? It's a decision. These are the decisions that win and lose baseball games.
I think trying to put a ball in play here would, just because of the speed of Gunnar Aldridge out there on second and the speed of Josh Steidl on first base, like a ball hit out to right field, like Gunnar Aldridge is coming home to score on that. So I don't know. I think Coach Lanning definitely had to think about it.
Absolutely.
When they were kind of game planning how this inning was going to go, but
as Newkirk guns it over to Steidl. or to Bell over there on first base, trying to just keep Steidle on his toes. Steidle was able to scamper back onto the bag as now the leads are reestablished. Both are fairly healthy leads over there on first and second base with the Copperheads with multiple base runners as Rucker swings way out there. That wasn't a great swing from Trey Rucker, as that one was way out of the zone, but he chased it. So 2-2 now the count. Or, no, that was strike 3. I guess the scoreboard was off there. I totally thought that was strike 2. But no, that's an even worse swing now, knowing that that's a strikeout, because that was way out of the zone. He got Rucker to chase. And now Bam Thomas comes up to the plate. He's got another opportunity here. He missed that opportunity, remember, back in the 4th inning to potentially bring Steidle home. And he couldn't quite do it there. He was grounded out to shortstop. This time he's up with 2 outs. He's got runners on first and second. And now, especially with 2 outs, Tim, much more of an onus on the base running. If you can get a ball in play, if you can get a ball into the outfield, past the infield, you know, Gunnar Aldridge is definitely coming home. As that is a curveball that just misses outside. Ball 1. 1-1 the count here to Bam Thomas. We'll see if he can get a pretty big Bam right here. And that one is fouled back. 1-2. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error for the Scouts. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for the Copperheads. So it's been a very defensive game, as we've mentioned a few times. It's been a good pitching duel. Etchinson been solid on the mound for the Scouts. A couple of guys doing great work out there for the Copperheads. Walter went 4 hitless and scoreless. Borer pretty solid in relief as well, as Bam grounds this one just foul. Would have been a tough play. It stayed in play. And we'll do it all again. 1-2, the count remains.
Crowd's still locked into this one.
Absolutely. You could the tension, the tension. I was trying to say tension and energy at the same time, because it's all palpable right now. It's all, you can feel, just kind of that energy is just flowing through the crowd right now, and it's just like a dam waiting to burst. And we'll see if Bam Thomas can be the one to break it open right here in a big spot. 2-2 the count. And that is outside, ball 3. So we'll load the count with 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Copperheads and Scouts even at 1. The Scouts just evened it up in the top of the 6th inning, in case you missed it. Cheads scored back in the 2nd, thanks to a Trey Rucker coming in from 3rd on a pass ball. And the Scouts was an RBI single from Blaze Bell, brought home Eaton. But now Bam Thomas, 3-2, 2 outs. The pitch from Etchinson. Runners go. Bam, it's right at the shortstop. This could be a tough play over from short. And he got him. The umpire took his time there. It was a great play over there at short. He has totally redeemed himself over there, Tommy Rover, after a couple of mistakes earlier in this one.
And Blaze Bell with the
good stretch.
Blaze Bell with the good stretch. The second chance effort, kind of had to double tap his foot there to make sure that he got the out. And Bam Thomas, who was hustling it out, didn't get on a free pass.
Just about, as you say. But the Scouts escape, and the Copperheads come up short with runners in scoring position once again. We'll be right back. The 7th inning here at the end of this doubleheader. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Bob Wren Stadium and welcome back to Athens, Ohio, as we're now in the top of the 7th inning, presented by Ohio Health. And as we call, we're getting to the business end of this game, and we're bringing in the business in terms of pitching. So Luke Borer exits after 2 innings of fairly solid work, but he did give up the game-tying run, and now it's Adam Beery who comes into this one. He's another Ohio U guy from Raven, Ohio, and he's pitched 18 innings, has got 8 earned on the year, but it's got 18 strikeouts to go along with that, the left-handed pitcher. Going back to Luke Borer, though, I like a lot of what I saw from him. What'd you like about what you saw from Luke Borer?
It was a normal performance from Luke Borer. Had 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, had 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. So about a normal for what the kind of performance we'd see from Luke Borer. Doesn't give up a ton of runs, though, so a little uncharacteristic there. But, I mean, overall looked comfortable on the mound, just kind of wasn't able to get into a solid rhythm and keep things going for the Copperheads. But Adam Beery, another one of those guys that once he gets into a rhythm, a guy that throws a lot of strikes. We're not going to see a ton of walks from Beery.
As that one was fouled back. So 0-1 the count now to Lee. Lee's 0 for 2 with a ground out and strikeout. And he swings at that one. Good pitch there from Beery.
Lots of breaking stuff. That ball.
Yeah, lots of great break there. Just always away from the bat.
Landed in the right-handed batter's box, but enough break on it that Lee thought he had a chance at it.
Yeah. As that one is just low for Beery. So his first ball, 1-2 the count now. Beery deals. And it is hit hard in the gap. And Ratliff with the speed gets over there and makes the play. That's the dynamic that Kyle Ratliff brings in the outfield. You know, we talk about the hitting. We talk about, you know, how good he is at the plate, but he brings that dynamic in center field. He can move out there.
He does, and the Great Lakes Summer League is full of just some really, really elite center fielders and outfields in general. You talk about guys like Sam Seeker for the Grand Lake Mariners, Adam Crawford, Danny Estrada, Tommy Thaman, even Bennett Clement, Jared Eason on this team. Like, there's some really good outfielders in this league, Ethan.
And Ratliff's name certainly
Ratliff is on that list.
Absolutely. Is now Steidle just reassuring Adam Beery after he got his first out here in relief. Top of the 7th inning, we are deadlocked at 1. Beery deals, and that is low. 3-0 now the count to Kyle Wu.
I think the umpire is still struggling to find his strike zone, much like Beery is.
As there's a 4-pitch walk from Adam Beery. So Kyle Wu gets his second walk of the game. And now the catcher, Sam Newkirk, comes up to the plate. He is 0 for 2 as well with a fly out and a strikeout. Beery deals a good pitch to respond after a not great at-bat there with the 4 balls in a row. Good strike on the breaking ball. And Beery will check the runner back over to first base. Wu gets back there in time. Once again, you can just feel the dam just continuing to crack, that dam of fan pressure as Beery gets set to deal here at 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2 the count now as Beery has responded well in this at-bat.
Started in with a fastball, then went back to the breaking stuff the same way he got the first batter of the inning, the same way he got Lee. And nice combination of pitches right now from Adam Beery.
As that one is grounded, this could be 2. Tossed over to Stallings, and just not quite in time. I think the transfer from Aldridge to Stallings was just half a second too slow. But they do get the runner at second. So Newkirk reaches on the fielder's choice.
Would have been the 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah.
Something you don't see a ton. But never forget earlier in the year the 1-4-3 double play.
That was a good one. I mean, heck, today we had the 2-5 double play. Steidl gunned it over to Carson Shepard. I was on third as I believe it was Easton was trying to steal. And that was the classic strike him out, throw him out. When they had just missed the strike him out, throw him out when Easton tried to steal second. I think he had him if Aldridge grabbed the ball properly. Instead, Steidl just responded right away and shook it off and gunned him out on the next pitch. That one's outside, so 1-1 the count now for Beery. Got a good ground ball out of Newkirk there, and now you're facing Neiman, the 9th hitter, who's also 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out.
Would be big to get their 9th hitter here before you have to send it back to the top of the lineup.
This one's hit shallow left center, and it is caught by the shortstop Stallings, and we will head to the bottom of the 7th, tied just as we did a couple of hours ago. The game is tied after 6 1/2, and we will come back as the Copperheads attempt to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll be right back with the Cheads. Welcome back to Bob Wren Stadium for the bottom of the 7th inning, presented by Larry's Doghouse. And boy, oh boy, the drama, the intensity of GLSCL baseball, it's all coming to a head right here inside a packed house here. Barely, as we look out over the concourse, I don't see an empty seat.
No, not in that lower bowl, Sedric.
Absolutely not.
Or Ethan.
I'll take being mistook for Sedric Granger. It means I'm doing something right.
Just listen to Sedric on the PA, get this crowd pumped up.
So that's usually my job, but Sedric could get a brick wall pumped up. So now Clayton Hodges comes up to the plate, but we have a pitching change here. So after a great outing from Evan Etchinson, just 2 hits and 1 run from him, Mark Schommer comes in to try and send the Scouts to extra innings. But if Clayton Hodges has anything to say about that, we'll be done here pretty quickly, as these fans want to see fireworks. And we might see them in a few different ways tonight, as Hodges grounds that one foul. As, of course, fireworks are coming at the end of this game for these fans in attendance.
You think we'll get a chance to see 2 walk-offs in one night, Ethan?
Is that that has to be something, right? I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it probably has happened before, but it's still pretty dang cool to be able to see one walk-off. And we've had plenty of walk-offs, actually, as Copperheads fans. Right here, there was a couple on the road that we had. We had the one in the bottom of the 10th last week. Of course, Kyle Ratliff coming up big again, and barring a little bit of a rally, we probably won't see Kyle Ratliff in this inning, so he won't have the chance to walk it off. But who knows? Never say never. And if Clayton Hodges has anything to say about it, he'll get it started, as that one is high in the air and popped foul into the fan section and dropped by a fan. Oh, he had the mitt in the other hand. Oh, that's just brutal.
Always great to see the fans try and make some athletic plays on the ball as well.
Yeah. We've seen some great catches. I think my favorite one of the season was the one where it was, I think the mom had like a blanket laid out, and I think like she was letting her kids run around, and she just two-hand grabbed it, no mitt. And she was over there, I think it was earlier in the season, but it was impressive. 2-2 the count, and Hodges swings and misses as Mark Schommer gets his first strikeout of the game. And Maverick Stallings now will come up to the plate.
Sitting in that on-deck circle is Mitch Class. Mitch came up big in a game a couple of days ago, delivered ultimately the game-winning RBI. It was against the Cincinnati Steam. It was the game-winning RBI in the 10th inning.
Yeah.
Scored Clayton Hodges.
Yeah. And now here is Stallings. He'll ground that one, and it'll come up fair. And the throw over from third is in time. Foot's on the bag for Bell, and the Copperheads quickly get 2 outs. And now Mitch Class up. And if he can't come up with anything, we are headed for, I think, the first time inside Bob Wren Stadium this season, we would be headed to extra innings.
So the way it works, there'll be 1 full inning of extras, and then
this is awesome. I love this.
And then, of course, the sudden death after the first full inning. As Mitch Class sends that one into the crowd.
Yeah, I think it just snuck by the protective netting around the side, but I mean, it looks like everybody's okay over there for now, which is good. Hopefully, everybody is okay. Class steps back into the box. 0-1 the count. And he takes strike 2. So Mark Schommer's come in, and he's dealing from U of Mary, hometown of Minnesota, New Ulm, Minnesota. He's got a 3.75 ERA on the season, and he sends us to extra innings. We've got bonus baseball, Tim. And these fans, they wanted fireworks. Well, they're going to have to wait just a little bit longer. We are headed to the top of the 8th inning. Mitch Class strikes out, and we will be right back with the 8th. Welcome back to Bob Brent Stadium. And we've got bonus baseball on tap tonight. After 14 innings, 2 games, we've got at least one more 15th inning of baseball here at Bob Wren tonight, as we are in extra innings of the 7-inning doubleheaders. We're in the second one now. As Adam Beery on the mound for the Copperheads gets a strike. He pitched a pretty solid inning in the last one. Did give up a walk, but nothing else. And the Copperheads were able to get out of that, but they could not walk it off in the bottom of the 7th inning. So now Beery has to go to work again on Haskins. And he swings and misses at that one. So 0-2 the count. Beery quickly ahead.
So, Ethan, we were talking during the break about the GLSCL overtime rules. Of course, you play the 1 full inning, and then both teams get an opportunity for offense and defense. And then if the score is still tied after that, run him up for.
As Haskins gets rung up there looking. Great pitch there from Beery.
But after the full inning, so it'll be the 8th inning, then we'll go to a sudden death version where a coin is flipped and the team can pick either to be on offense or on defense. And so the discussion is, which would you rather be?
I think it's such a tough call. I mean, I think on a night like tonight, you probably go defense just because both offenses have been pretty stagnant. But, like, what if it's 9-9? Like, you know, these are the decisions. I don't know if you've seen it yet on the road.
We have not.
We've seen extras.
We've seen the extras.
Haven't seen sudden death.
We saw the extras on the 4th of July, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, bonus baseball. Who can complain? It's 9:51 Eastern time here in Athens. So some of these kids, it might be getting to right around bedtime. But it's a late night for them. It's a Friday night. The kids will play. And once again, it's turned into just a splendid night for baseball. A balmy 70, 75 degrees as the sun has set here. It was a pretty cloudy day for most of the day, but luckily it seems like we were able to avoid the rain. Which
yeah, crazy.
Continue to knock on wood.
Crazy it turned into such a great night.
I know.
After the weather was a concern all day, yeah.
I mean, we were, again, as we mentioned earlier, we were texting. We were very unsure if we'd get either game in, and it looks like, I mean, we've already played basically 2 full games. And now, you know, we're obviously in extra innings of the second game. And now Adam Beery deals the 2-2. And that is high, so load the count up for Beery in this duel against Rover, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. The full count pitch is just outside. Ball 4. So the Scouts get a base runner with 1 out. A walk worked by Rover.
The umpire, again, still struggling to kind of find his strike zone. We saw a couple different.
I mean, it's
I don't know, man.
we're in this. We kind of said a lot to each other there without saying much.
Yes.
The umpires had a very varying zone throughout the night. And there's a strike. Can't mess that one up. That was right down Main Street from Adam Beery. There's a strike. 0-1 the count with 1 out here. Both teams have 1 run. Both teams with 2 hits. The Scouts had an error back in the 4th inning. Copperheads have no errors so far tonight, as Beery will check the runner over there at first base, keeping Tommy Rover on the bag. As Eaton steps in to the box, he is the only run of the game so far. They brought him, and he had the double to get things going as Beery hits him there.
Looks like he just missed him.
He just missed him. I thought it hit him for sure. From my vantage point up here, it looked like it had got him right in the back, but I guess not. So I guess it's for a good thing for the Copperheads that I was wrong. Beery deals, and there's a strike. Another really good pitch. His off-ball stuff has been really good tonight, Adam Beery.
It has been. He's been able to find the zone with it and catch the hitters off guard. Yesterday, Carson Shepard talked about how difficult it was to hit some of those slower pitches, and today we're seeing that Xenia's struggling to do that as well.
So that one's grounded right back up to Beery, and it wasn't the best throw in the world from him, but he got the out at second. Stallings came over to cover. So on the fielder's choice, Easton will reach, but they do get the out over there at second. So now 2 outs with Blaze Bell, and he was the one who brought home Easton earlier in the game. He, of course, got the double and then was able to get the third on a passed ball, rare pass ball from Josh Steidel. And then Blake Bell was able to drive home only the second hit of the night for the Scouts, and it was the first run of the night. And we'll see how bold they get over there with Easton, because we've seen the speed a couple times tonight, but we've also seen Josh Steidel test that arm a few times. It's a battle of wits over there on the diamond.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough decision to make if you're Coach Tim Cole. Do you want to send him? Do you want to keep him? Do you want to, with only 1 out here to play with, you kind of have to be a little bit conservative as you're trying to.
And he goes. Oh, and Stallings just can't make the grab. Oh, the frustration is just etched all over Josh Steidel's face there, as it was another on-the-money throw. And I think, again, he gets him. He gets him if the catch is made. But Stallings, I think, just closed his glove, got a little jumpy, closed his glove a second and a half too early. And the Copperheads now runner in scoring position here with 2 outs. They're in a little bit of danger here with a 2-0 count now to Blaze Bell as well. As that one is real close to the zone once again from Beery. Gotta say, might be a little unlucky not to get that call, but once again, we're not umpires.
Starting to sound like broken records in this one. But
you can hear the frustration of the Copperhead faithful down beneath us. And that one is a called strike.
Starting to build up, I think, for everybody.
The Copperhead fan frustration is certainly starting to be felt. You can probably hear it a little bit through our mics up here in the box. As Beery deals a 3-1. And that swung on and fouled back, so Beery's done a good job. He's worked the count back to 3-2 here with 2 outs.
I think if you're Beery, you got to go
for the
work
speed,
that off
surely.
speed.
Yeah. It's been
get him
so
to
good
chase one on that outside part of the plate.
What's the call here from Steidel to Beery? Beery looking, peering over home plate. Blaze Bell locked in the box. The 3-2. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Adam Beery responds after going down 3-0 in the count. He comes back with 3 straight strikes. The last one is called on Blake Bell, and the Copperheads strand the runner in scoring position. So the Scouts come up empty, and the Copperheads have a second chance to walk it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll be right back with the top of the Copperhead order. Welcome back to an absolutely bumping Bob Wren Stadium. And the Copperheads with a second chance here to walk it off. We are deadlocked at 1 after 7.5 innings of play. Of course, we're in the second of a 2-game doubleheader. So the Copperheads are in extra innings here, and if they can get a hit here and get a walk-off home run or anything like that, we will get to see the fireworks. But if not, we will get to see something very interesting, the sudden death playoff, which we explained in the last inning. If it gets to be a couple outs, we'll explain it again. But it is absolutely electric right now inside of Bob Wren Stadium. The atmosphere is rife with tension as that one's outside on the 0-2. Good take from Shepard on the curveball there.
You can feel the intensity.
We've talked about that dam. It is just, oh, and that is a mistake there from Schomer as he hits Shepard on the 1-2 count.
That's not the guy you want to give a free pass to first base.
Not at all. A speedy Carson Shepard. But once again, that's a 1-2 count. He had his number there for a little bit. And now the base runner is all you need for the Copperheads. Now in the bottom of the 8th inning, Gunnar Aldridge up and Ratliff and Steidl behind him. That is not the start you want for this inning if you're the Xenia Scouts.
A stolen base and a pop fly or a fly out, sac fly from Gunnar Aldridge.
It'll be interesting decision
puts Carson
making
Shepard
here.
90 feet away.
Absolutely interesting decision time here once again for TJ Lanning. Do you send Carson Shepard? Do you trust him to get to the bag ahead of that throw from Newkirk, who he's got an arm?
I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you do. Carson Shepard.
He's got the speed.
There's a couple of the guys on this roster that I would say yes to, and Carson Shepard is one of those guys. Trey Rucker, Kyle Ratliff, a couple of those guys. But
as this Gunner is grounded to short, they're going to get the out at second, but not be able to turn 2. So we're basically back where we started, except now we'll just trade it for Gunnar Aldridge at first. And we've seen this one before, haven't we?
We have.
A few times today, specifically. Multiple times, I think we've seen Gunnar Aldridge over at first base, and we've got Kyle Ratliff at the plate.
Some of the fans watching at home might be thinking that we just changed the background and
just kind of threw in the darker night. As Ratliff takes strike 1, he's 0 for 3 tonight. He's got 2 strikeouts and a ground out, but that's exactly what he came to the plate in the 7th inning. Last game, that game it was 2-2, and the Copperheads were able to actually get the walk-off courtesy of Kyle Ratliff. He's got another opportunity to do it right here. 0-1 here. Schomer deals. And it's swung on and fouled back, so 0-2 now the count to Ratliff.
Big power swing on that one.
Absolutely. And now the other thing is you've got another very powerful guy in the on-deck circle in Josh Steidl. This is the meat of that Copperhead lineup. These are the best hitters are kind of right here. Aldridge, Ratliff, Steidl. What can Ratliff do here? Behind 0-2 with 1 out. Good take on that one. 1-2.
Looks like Gunnar Aldridge had the intention to steal second base. So the same situation where a sac fly and a stolen base puts Gunnar Aldridge now just 90 feet away.
Yeah, but don't put anything over the plate on this guy, as there's a call, I think, was it Ratliff? I think it was, yeah. Ratliff called time there before the pitch came in, so no pitch. 1-2 the count remains in this 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 8th. So I'll ask you the same question that you asked me. And just on any given night, what do you think the better option is? Going for offense or defense in sudden death?
In this league, it's so hard to score runs. It really
Ratliff
is.
rips a base hit into right field. Gunnar Aldridge round second. He's coming around third, and he'll stop at third base. And I think that was a good decision. I don't think he gets there. The throw over there in right field from the right fielder over there was a good one. It was Hurd over there in right field who made a good throw to the catcher. Ratliff steps up again. It's not quite a walk-off, but the Copperheads are more than set up now. Aldridge at third, Ratliff at second, and your all-star catcher coming to the plate.
What he did Ethan, is he put the winning run just 90 feet away without getting an out. A sac fly wins this game, and the Copperheads will take two in one night off the walk-offs. You can't get much better than this here
in Xenia
here
that
at
they're
Bob
directly fighting against to try and move up the standings in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. It is a battle for the playoffs. This Copperheads team has fought. They have been down. They have been out. They have struggled mightily at large portions of this season. But this is an opportunity. Today has been a day where they have rewritten a lot of their fortunes. And we are just announced over 1,000 fans here at Bob Wren tonight, which that's awesome. Of course, we've talked about how awesome the crowd's been all night tonight. And they have continually brought the energy, as there was a quick mound visit over there for Xenia. I think that was probably just a nerve tonic there from the Xenia coaching staff. Just have a quick meeting on the mound.
Looks like Jordan Long's going to come in to pinch run.
And yeah,
for Gunnar Aldrich.
And you know, Long's one of the speedier guys on the team in general. There's a lot of fast guys on this team, but Long probably top 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
So now you bring him in. They've done this before in the past. They've brought in Jordan Long, and they're going to intentionally walk Josh Steidel, which I think is honestly probably a smart move.
Yes, yes, it is. They're having flashbacks, I think, to watching the tape on the Grand Lake.
Yeah, the opening night.
The RBI sac fly to win the game against Grand Lake on opening night. And so now Trey Rucker.
So the bases are loaded here for Trey Rucker. And the energy is high. Josh Steidel takes his spot over there at first base. And now it is Trey Rucker stepping up to the plate to try and win this one and complete the 2-game sweep over the Xenia Scouts for the Copperheads. A potentially season-altering sweep as he takes that first pitch. That was a pitch he swung at in his last at-bat. You can already tell he's learning. You saw TJ Lanning pull him aside there before the at-bat and kind of probably guide him through what the game plan is here. 1-0 to Rucker. And he takes low, 2-0. A walk also wins this baseball game. Bam Thomas in the on-deck circle. 1 out here. Copperheads have the bases loaded to try and send us to fireworks here at Bob Wren Stadium. And there's a strike, a much-needed strike in there for the Scouts.
A nice recovery pitch
really
there
good
on that one, touching that outside part of the zone. Gave him a little bit of heat on that as well.
The 2-1 is swung on and fouled. It would have been a tough play. You can already see Jordan Long is 3/4 of the way home before the ball even got into the glove of Bell, the first baseman. It would have had to have been perfect. He was on the move there. As now 2-2 the count here for Trey Rucker. The pitch is outside. Really good take once again from Trey Rucker as the count is full. And the fans are rising to their feet here inside Bob Wren Stadium. Full count here for Trey Rucker. The pitch is swung on and missed by Rucker. Huge strikeout for the Scouts. You saw the energy up there on the mound. And they're not quite out of the woods yet, but that is a big-time strikeout. They get Rucker swinging. Good at-bat from Trey Rucker.
It was a good take from Trey Rucker. He liked that one. A little bit outside, but across the plate, right at a good level for him to swing at.
It might have got rung up a strike 3 regardless. And now Bam Thomas, he's had a few chances in this game.
This would be monumental for Bam Thomas, in a bit of a slump right now.
And he swings hard at that first one, almost. Very close. Goes behind 0-1. 2 outs now for the Copperheads. They got their Jordan Long is at third. Kyle Ratliff at second. Josh Steidel at first base. What can Bam Thomas do? Can he send us home? The pitch swung on and fouled back, so he will go behind 0-2 the count here to Bam.
He's seeing the ball really well, too. Made solid contact on that one. Just has to fix that timing a little bit. He gets another pitch like that.
Who knows? The 0-2 is rung up, strike 3. The Scouts are fired up over there, and as they should be. Heck of a job over there to get out of the jam. And Bam Thomas is not happy with that strike 3 call, but the Copperheads leave the bases loaded. And now we will go to sudden death here in the 9th inning. And you can hear the fan frustration here inside Bob Wren Stadium.
I think everybody in this ballpark is fired up about it. So we'll go over the overtime rules here real quick. Both coaches will meet at home plate. There'll be a coin toss to determine the winner, and the winner will choose whether they would like to be on offense or defense. We play 1/2 inning. If the defense does not allow a run, that team wins, and if the offense scores a run,
that's cool.
if the offense scores a run, they'll win.
And it looks like the Copperheads are on defense as they are jogging out onto the field here well, you'd have to say the Copperheads made the right choice there. You just got through the meat of the Scouts lineup. Eaton and Bell were the guys who had gotten the job done earlier in this game, so we could potentially see a defensive walk-off. Of course, now Jordan Long's got to get fresh over there at second base. That is his natural position. And Beery will come back out here. Interesting decision. Beery has pitched well, to his credit. He's been really good out there. He has not given up a run. He's given two zeros on the board. And now they're going to send him out for a 3rd inning, but I'm sure they'll have guys over there in the bullpen ready to go in case things do go south. Because one mistake, and this game is over, because now it's basically like a bottom of the 9th right now.
You've got to trust your guys, though. Adam Beery has been that guy this year.
I totally agree.
As has Luke Borer, as has Daniel Walters. The pitching staff in today's game, even going back to last game, Cody Williams, these guys have been those guys all year long. You've relied on this core defense. We got Jordan Long over there coming in. He'll stay in for Gunnar Aldridge at second base. Yeah, thank you. But, I mean, you've got to trust this defense. Steidel behind the plate. You've got to. And so if you're Coach Lanning, I think the bats have been cold today a little bit. So the decision to go on defense,
it's an easy decision.
It's an easier decision than it might be had this, like you said, had this been a 9-9 ball game.
Yeah. So due up for the Scouts is it's going to be their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. So Jeffrey Hurd, Cole Lee, and Kyle Wu will be the guys for the Scouts. So we'll see if they maybe try and pinch run, pinch hit. Because, I mean, you got to empty the bench at this point. It's do or die here. We're in sudden death. This is the first time we've seen this as the Copperheads franchise here this season, at least. As Jordan Long over there at second base, and it'll be Hurd who steps into the box here. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts tonight. And now just the tension in this building. The tension is scary right now as we are in overtime. That is cool to see.
Something new, the ghost runner on first base as well.
And yeah, I don't know if we mentioned that.
No,
there is that ghost runner over there at first base to give that hitting team a little bit of an advantage. Beery as they go for the bunt, and it doesn't work. That is the strategy here, I think. If you do go for the hit, you know you have that guy on first base. You try and lay down the bunt and just advance him as far as you can, because then again, all you need, a bunt and a sacrifice fly, and then maybe, heck, 2 sacrifice flies, and if the bunt goes well, and you win the ball game. So
Carson Shepard coming up, playing
ready.
Close on that
Very
hot
ready.
corner down there.
That does open up the potential, though, to maybe rip one up and over him. And that could bring guy to third base. Look at him. He's charging on in there. It looked like he's trying to come home to win the game himself.
Not going to let anything past this defense. This team has not gone down without a fight this year.
Nope.
And I don't expect them to do it here in front of over 1,000 people here at Bob Wren Stadium.
It's been a phenomenal crowd tonight as Beery. There's the bunt. It's a good one. Steidel turns, throws, and gets the out at first base. So probably a win for both teams there. Both teams will probably take that outcome. The Scouts advance the runner to second base, but the Copperheads do get out a really good bunt laid down by Jeffrey Hurd there. So he advances the runner to second base, and now Cole Lee is up to bat, but the Copperheads are 2 outs away from the victory.
Have to prevent the runner from making it to third base before recording an out. You can't allow him to get within sacrifice fly territory and leave it all to Beery.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened in the last inning, though, and it was, I don't even think we mentioned, you got to give Mark Schommer a ton of credit for that last inning, fighting back, bases loaded with 1 out. As umpires rule that he doesn't go around there. I'll never understand this, and I get that it's a 2-ump crew. How can he see if he went around?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Because you can see, fans, you can see on your screen that the black shirt right there is the umpire on the field, as that one's fouled back 1-1. How can he see if the guy's gone around?
Yeah, it's a difficult.
I get that there's 2 umps.
It's
hard, but it's hard. And once again, Copperhead fans voicing their frustrations. They've been very frustrated with this ump crew throughout the course of this one. As
I think the one thing that makes the fans frustrated with the ump crews is when it's not consistent.
As their strike 2, really good pitch there from Beery. He has had his stuff tonight. I give him a lot of credit. He has been a really good so far tonight. He's been lights out, and a strikeout here would do a world of good for the Copperheads. 1-2 the count. Adam Beery lines it up. The pitch is a grounder to first base. This could be a tough play. Beery gets there, and he gets the out at first. That was very close at first base. Beery, good work to get over there. Good heads-up play by Class, but now it's pretty much hit wins the game for the Scouts. Anything else, and the Copperheads win. This is just about as good as you can write it.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this, Ethan.
And it's Kyle Wu who steps into the box for the Scouts.
Base hit wins the game, or an out wins the game.
Yeah, this is sudden death personified.
The first time I've ever been able to experience
awesome.
a sudden death type thing.
And that is high. I think the only outcome that wouldn't do anything is a walk. A walk, I think, would just put the runner on first base, and we would do another batter. And I guess you can afford 2 walks, technically.
Copperheads need to get something here.
As that one's outside. And Steidel's going to go over there and have a chat with Adam Beery. I do feel like if he does walk a guy, then again, when you think about it like this, when you're in this weird situation, you have 2 walks to give here, technically.
You do. So
if you don't want to give him something, if you're down 3-0, I say you just walk him. You don't give him anything over the plate that's going to be easy to hit. I would just, throw a ball 4 and no harm done, really. Because this is sudden death. It's not like they can extend their lead or anything like that. This game's going to finish either 2-1 or, I guess, how did they just give the Copperheads a run?
I believe it's a 1-1 victory for the Copperheads.
Okay, well that'll be a cool thing to do. But now the count is 3-0 here for Beery to Kyle Wu.
On the flip side of that, something over the plate.
And that is fouled sharply just past third base. So 3-1, Beery gets a foul ball. So good work there from him. He's worked back from 3-0 before, earlier in this game. Oh, the knots in the stomach right now all around the stadium. I've got one up here in the booth. This is electric. Swing and a miss. Got him with that off-speed pitch that he's been killing everybody with so far tonight. And now the count is full. 3-2 here with 2 outs in our sudden death 9th inning after 15 and a half innings of baseball. 3-2, 2 outs. 1-1 game. Sudden death GLSCL baseball. Runner on third base. If they get the run across, they win. If the Copperheads can get the final out, they'll come home with the 2-game sweep. The pitch from Beery is outside. So we'll do it all again. We will do it all again. And that will bring up Sam Newkirk. So breathe, Copperheads fans. After I'm sure the knot was pretty tight in the stomach there.
Lot of intensity.
We will do it all again. Adam Beery now going to have to fight once again. He fought back so well there, but just couldn't get the payoff. And now he'll have to step up once again. Runners on first and third with 2 outs here in sudden death. Beery deals. Swung on and fouled back, so 0-1 the count.
Trying to work it. Give him something.
Beery's getting ahead. That's big that Beery gets ahead in the count there, because now you've got that creative freedom as a pitcher to kind of do what you feel like.
Work him off speed
exactly,
as well.
Off speed, out of the zone. See if you can get him to swing at something way out there. So
and to your point a couple of minutes ago, the off speed I haven't touched.
Yeah, and now he's got him 0-2. There's another foul ball there from Newkirk.
And with 4 balls to give, you absolutely can try him off speed out and away.
Oh, right here, yeah. I wouldn't go near the zone here at 0-2. Just see if you can get him with something. You know, maybe
the pressure,
that inside breaking ball. Maybe see if you can get him to swing and miss at that. The 0-2 strikeout wins the game for the Copperheads. A run for the Scouts also wins the game. The magic of sudden death. Beery deals. It's high. It's a fly out, I believe. It is caught in left field by Clayton Hodges, and the Copperheads walk it off on defense. Final score, Copperheads 1, Scouts 1. The Copperheads win in sudden death.
That was the most exciting inning and a half of baseball, Ethan, that we have watched all season long.
Absolutely
how
electric.
Incredible. We treated our alumni. They come back for the night. We treat them to not 1, but 2 walk-off wins tonight. And the Copperheads have now won how many in a row, Ethan?
4 in a row, Tim. 4 in a row. And this team may just be starting to heat up at the right time, as this is the playoff push of the season.
Getting hot at the right time.
Exhale. That was dramatic. That was everything summer baseball is about. Good contact there from Sam Newkirk. He got a pitch that he liked, but he just couldn't get quite enough power on it to get it up and over the barrier or over Clayton Hodges' head. And now, Copperheads fans, it's fireworks. We got plenty of fireworks on the field. Now we will see the fireworks off the field. We'll be right back with a little bit more here from Bob Brent Stadium. Welcome inside the broadcast booth here inside Bob Wrenn Stadium. I'm Ethan Sargent. Alongside me is Tim Hanna, and we are joined by Adam Beery, who came up super clutch there at the end with 3 scoreless innings. Just what's running through your mind in that last inning? Just everybody is on edge. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've never done before. I don't think the other team has done that before. I know growing up all my life, I haven't done that ever in my life, so it's something new. Really cool to experience that. But I don't know, just running through my head there in the beginning of the inning, I just tried to lead our defense through what was going to happen. I tried to play with my mind, so I knew they were going to bunt there, so I was talking to all our defenders and what they were going to do there, because we didn't want to lose on a mistake like that. But after that, after the guy got to second, I knew it was just time, to buckle up, and we're here for ride. So, I just tried to throw as hard as I could. I knew my teammates had my back. Obviously, the crowd had my back. The crowd was absolutely tremendous tonight. Shout out to them. We couldn't have done it without them. So,
over 1,000 people in attendance tonight, so definitely helped a little bit.
absolutely.
Get some of those calls. The decision to go on offense, or the decision to go on defense rather than offense, was that something that Coach kind of talked to you guys about? Or
I think after the 8th inning, after the inning I had out there, I think there was no really other option.
That's kind of what we said,
when I
too.
came off the field, they said, if we don't score, you're going back out there. We're getting 3 outs and winning the game. So I'm just glad we made the right decision there. Shout out to our hitters for getting that run across, keeping the game where it was, and then we went from there. Defense stepped up tonight. I'm proud of them. So.
Go ahead, Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, up here, we're going to talk about how you pitch now, because you pitched a heck of a game. I mean, we were loving just what kind of goes through the process of those off-speed pitches, because you were getting swings and misses left and right with that pitch. How do you use that, and where does that come from?
So growing up, even in high school, I used to be a hitter. So when I'm on the mound, I try to think what the guy in the box is thinking, and I go off that. So I know early in the count, they're going to probably look fastball. That's how hitters are taught. So that's usually when I spin the get me over breaking ball early in the count. They're not really expecting that. When I get ahead on that, I kind of have them in the palm of my hands. That's kind of my outlook on the mound. If I can get ahead in the count, then I have all 4 pitches that I can work off with. My curveball, my slider were on tonight. My fastball I was locating well. I mean, the umpire, he was struggling both ways, but I did what I could. So yeah, like I said, try to think about what the hitter's thinking, and I go off that. Especially we play these guys multiple times, and when we keep playing them multiple times, we're gonna obviously pitch against them more often. So I just try to figure out what they're thinking, what their strategies are, and I try to go off that.
On that, the umpire situation, when things like that are missing on what probably should be obvious calls one way or another, how do you mentally keep yourself in it and not just get overly frustrated with some of those missed calls?
Yeah, I just try to keep my body language as good as possible. If the umpire sees me out there moping, or if I'm chirping back at him, he's obviously not going to give me any more calls. So I just try to show my best body language. If I think it was a strike, I could ask him, hey, was that out? Was that down? And then if he says that was out, I know I got to go a ball more inside the plate. So I just try to keep the best body language possible. Keep everyone calm. The fans are obviously getting into it, and I think that might have helped out a little bit. Our coach TJ, shout out to him for kind of getting in the umpire a little bit too. But you just got to keep the best body language possible out there.
Yeah, kind of last thing for me, you've already talked about fans a couple of times. What can you say, not just the fans, but just the atmosphere in general of the stadium tonight? Over 1,000 people in the crowd.
Sure.
Everybody's bringing the energy all game long. Did you feed off of that?
Oh, absolutely. I go to school here. I'm an Ohio University kid, so this is my second home. Playing here, and then obviously playing for the Copperheads. I love being out there. That mound is my home out there, and obviously the fans, all the sponsors, everybody that came out tonight. Shout out, like I said before. Thank you to all of them. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. But obviously that last inning, the fans getting into it. I was inside or outside. I was trying to keep as cool as possible. If I would ramp way up, that's when things would start going. Everywhere. But inside, I was like, let's go. The fans have my back. I know my teammates got my back. Let's ride and let's get this win.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Adam.
Right. Thank you, Adam. Much appreciated. We will be right back inside the broadcast booth with head coach TJ Lanning for his thoughts on tonight's game. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, and I may have fibbed a little bit. We've got two guests now inside the broadcast booth. Alongside head coach TJ Lanning, we're now joined by Copperheads outfielder Kyle Ratliff. We're going to have to go back a little bit, Kyle, because obviously this game was electric, but in game one, it was you who were the hero. What goes through your mind when you just hit that absolute bomb out to left field?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, God is good. Definitely been asking him for an opportunity to kind of get outside of myself and go up there and do something good for the team. And so he blessed me with that opportunity, got the chance, and took advantage of it for sure. So just kind of went up there, stuck to my approach, and good things happened.
4 in a row now for you guys, Kyle. This is kind of the streak that we've been talking about throughout the year to kind of claw your way back into it. And coming into the second game, you guys are now only 3.5 games back out of first place. So what kind of things do you guys have to keep doing in these next couple of days with all these games coming up?
Yeah, we definitely got to keep trusting each other, trusting the way each other plays, and make sure, you just know that everybody's going to do their jobs. And, you focus on your job, and then you get it done, and then we succeed as a team. So definitely going out there every single day and with the mentality that, we can't be beat and that we are who we are. We're going to go out there, and we're just going to play together and get a team win.
Yeah, I mean, just when you're at the plate, you've got that power. What do you think that you can do as the season continues to go and you just continue to just mash home runs? How do you think you can refine your approach? Because we saw it there in that 8th inning. Instead of hitting that monster home run in the end of the game, you had a one-out double that got the Copperheads set up, and unfortunately they couldn't cash in. But still, you set up the team. How'd your approach change?
Yeah, it's definitely I took a very unselfish swing there. Even though it's good, it's cool to hit, walk-off home runs at the end of the day. That's, if you go up there as your approach, it's kind of selfish, And so having a guy on first base and you just know you got to do your job, pass the AB along to the next person and trust that they'll do their job, like I said. So going up there, being unselfish and being able to keep the inning going.
Yeah.
One last question. Over 1,000 people in the stands tonight to watch these two games. Talk about the energy that crowd gave you guys coming down the stretch in not only game 1 but game 2 as well.
Yeah, that's a first for sure. I've never played in front of that many people. Even high school football, I don't know if it's been 1,000 people. So it's definitely an adrenaline rush that you really can't get from anything else. And so going out there and seeing that many people up there supporting you, cheering you on when you're at the plate or in the field, it's unreal for sure.
All right, I'm all good, Kyle. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Keep mashing them home runs.
Yes, sir.
All right, and we are now joined by head coach TJ Lanning. I guess I'll get us going.
How are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing great. We had an awesome game up here, awesome doubleheader. I'm sure Sedric can say the same about the first game as well.
Yeah.
Let's just get started with just getting the doubleheader sweep tonight at home in front of a packed house. What does it mean for this team?
It means a lot, going into this, the Xenia Scouts were number 1 in the division, and we were sitting in last place. So we needed to go on a little run and start knocking some guys down if we wanted to start catching up and wanted to make a run later on in the summer. So it meant a lot, Thank you for everyone that came out tonight. I mean, this place was such an electric atmosphere. I mean, give it up to all our guys. They stayed in and battled it to the end. And like I said, we're going to come out and scratch and figure out a way to win ball games.
Yeah, even ball games that have defensive walk-offs, which are awesome.
You gotta love it.
Start with, we'll go back to the first game. Cody Williams, again, we talked about it last night a little bit after the game, only having to use one guy, and that kind of frees a little bit more up. So did that help coming into this second game that you had Beery available to come in later?
Most definitely. Our goal was to go Cody as long as we can and then go to Beery's right after that. But, Cody wanted the ball. He's a bulldog on the mound, and I want guys that are bulldogs on the mound and say, no, you're not taking me out this game. So I love that he has that passion, that fire in him to go on the mound and do what he did today. He threw a very, very well ball game today.
And then in that second game, the choice to go on defense instead of offense, was that something you kind of talked with the guys about, or did you just kind of see the trend of the game and it's going to be easier for us to get 3 outs than try and score a run?
Yeah, so the trend of the game is what I went after. Neither side was not really hitting the ball well, and we had 2 hits from both sides, and we couldn't really trust the umpiring behind the dish tonight really that much. So I just wanted to go with defense. That was the game plan the whole way if we got into the extras there.
Yeah, so that's 3 really good pitching performances in a row. Colin last night with all the strikeouts. Then you had Daniel, we just talked about Cole, and then Daniel in this last game with Beery and Luke as well. Just all really good pitching performances across the board. How does that set up your team in the future, and how are you going to try and, keep these pitching performances going, keep the good momentum going on that side of the ball?
Yeah, just keep taking it game by game, and the next guy that's starting just goes out there and does his job and pounds the zone and get quick outs and minimize the runs and the walks, and I think we're going to be all right. So they just got to step up and do their job just like Cody and Walter did tonight, and Bohr and Beery. So, yeah.
All right, well, it looks like we're just about set for fireworks here inside Bob Brent Stadium. So after all the fireworks on the field, we're ready for some fireworks in the thing. So thank you very much, DJ. Much
Awesome.
Appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
We will be right back inside Bob Brent Stadium for final thoughts from me and Tim. Thanks for sticking around.